It makes you feel more comfortable.
It gives me a feeling of accomplishing something. I feel like I'm doing something. I tried to do this with my music that would be good, and then nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. But one day, I found myself on stage playing a solo violin concert in Queen Elizabeth's Hall in London. And I thought, oh my God, I guess I did accomplish something. After all. That's a kind of a song, you know. I like to think of these as like songs, doing a little like something, making a sound, and then telling a little story. I know you're going to say it's a little bit like masturbating. But I don't really think it's like that at all, actually. I think it's actually accomplishing something. Oh. The little death. That's what the French call orgasm. They call it a little death. You know, like if you never had an orgasm before, like when you're if you're a boy, you get interested in this funny feeling that comes from your genitals, and then something happens that like is going somewhere, and it's hard to tell what's going to happen next. And then you can tell that you're gonna do it, whatever it is, and it's the little death. Whoa. Oh. You don't really know that this will just keep going for another decade, 4 decades. You just keep doing that same thing. Humans are so involved in reproducing. It's unbelievable the amount of people on the planet, but not when you consider how they get there. Okay.
I just gotta move that table.
I'm not going to go with this that I'm going to die.
Okay.
Because I already did that with the firing the gun thing,
Yeah.
sort of, you know. A little bit. That's. Oh. Let's get something better, juicier. Let's see. Some of the things that you wanted to be when you grew up. Okay. When was this made? Manufactured and trademark registered by Oscar Schmidt International, 87 Ferry Street, Jersey City, 7NJ. Might be as old as me. This. Yeah. I remember when I was a boy, it was, I was born practically right into World War II. I was born in 1940, so when I started to actually get interested in things outside of my own, like puzzling out my own existence and my family and so forth, like when I got to be about 4, 5, 6, like that, you know, the war, the Second World War, that is, was just ending, coming to a close, as it were. And, of course, what happens when you have a world war end is suddenly there are there's just suddenly like a profusion of like paraphernalia that just gush out everywhere. So, and we had, of course, friends who were in the service, and at that time, if you had someone who was wounded or killed, not like today where they don't bother to like do anything or celebrate. It's just like, oh, you had somebody killed in the war. Oh, well, oh, yeah, well, say bye to them. Now, in those days, you get a little flag as a measure of your commitment. And the families had these flags that hung in the window that had like a meaning depending on the color of the star and so forth. You would know whether the son had been killed or wounded and so forth. And so it was a very, very visible thing, you know. And of course, I had a helmet and I had an army coat, and I don't know if I wanted to be, I didn't want to be a soldier, that's for sure. You know, as a matter of the night before, being 7, the night before my birthday, and remember this, when I was in 6 and 365ths, I was lying in bed thinking, tomorrow I'll be 7 and my life will be 1/3 over. Because I knew by that time, you know, about thirds, and, you know, I knew the multiplication table up to 3 times 7. And I figured out that I probably would not be a soldier until I was 18, but then I would probably be a soldier, and I would probably be, like, certainly killed as a soldier by the time I was 21. Painful thought. It was a horrifying moment. But I had all these things. And then there was, because my family was living in Arlington, Virginia, which is just the Washington, D.C.'s bedroom, there was a metal factory. Yes, a metal factory that about a half. And this was like a really big moment for kids. The kids over the ashes of the metal factory, because you could go and like sift through all these ashes and pull out just a bewildering array of like decorations, you know, ribbons and bars and metal and just all kinds of things, all kinds of stuff. People found amazing amounts of stuff. So this whole sort of like drag element of war was really for me. All kids sort of get into it, you know, you learn those and so forth. I'm getting into it, and things that I sort of created simulation. Actually wanted to be like a cowboy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure percent. Or a doctor. I thought at the time a doctor, but that was only something I knew about. Like the sort of what is it kind of thing. Like I wouldn't have named that I was going to be an agronomist or like a CPA because to those things. But a doctor, because I'd had appendicitis when I was 3 and operation to have my appendix whacked out of me. A doctor, also my doctor, an osteopath, and my uncle was so I knew about that. A doctor. Yeah, or maybe a fireman. Well, never really got into the fireman thing. I've got some pictures of me in these different suits. Yeah, cowboy, soldier. Yeah, this round-headed little boy. It wasn't a very full imaginary. It was sort of like a depleted imaginary, kind of like depleted uranium. Like it came zonking in really, really strong and stayed radiated for a long time without any particular, like, mushroom cloud effect.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have to go on to the next one if we have a chance.
Do you still have time to do a few more?
Oh, how many are there?
It goes all the way up to 42.
Oh, cripes. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, can I do them really quickly?
No. You're too good at them to do them quickly. It would be better if we save them for the future.
Okay, I'll do 2 more.
Okay.
What time is it? Is it
5:02.
Oh, you have to leave.
I have to eat, so then I can get my stuff together to leave.
Well, you can just leave me with this and I'll do it.
No.
Some of the things I want. Oh, I did that. Memorable smells? Memorable smells. You're thinking of a memorable smell. You're between her legs. It just evacuated in a most horrifying way. And someone's opening the bathroom door. Nah, these aren't really truly memorable. These are day-to-day smells. A really memorable smell is one that, I was just talking about Proust a minute ago, and there's something about Proust that has to do with this memorable smell theme. He acknowledged that and built that into the Western tradition with that book, Swan's Way. But I didn't even know what you can get the idea. You don't even have to know what a Madeleine is. Do you know what a Madeleine is? Okay. Yeah. Well, I went to Nantes this year, and I got a Madeleine. They were just on the buffet for breakfast. Madeleines. Came actually like as though they were made by Sara Lee. They were in a little plastic individual wrapping. And they're sort of like little corn muffins or something. There's nothing much to them, but I thought, somebody says, oh, you know what that is? That's a Madeleine. You've heard of that? It's the Madeleine and the cup of tea that I'm referring to that are in the Proust book. It's like sort of an esoteric thing, but you just have to give me a break. Well, I'm trying to think of a memorable aroma here that I'm remembering. The thing about a memorable smell is the memorable smell is the one you don't think of until you smell it again. And then you smell that again, And then it just hammers you right back like some unknown period of time. Whack! Suddenly, like you think, oh yeah, that's exactly the aroma that we used to have Christmas morning, or, whatever it is, like, I don't know. It can be something good or something bad, But like the smell of decaying bodies wouldn't be something good, but I'll make up a story about memorable smells just so that I don't sort of leave you hanging there, I guess that this is about the time when my friend in high school and I were doing experiments with bugs, and we would try to drown them in urine. And so we exchanged urine samples, and I thought that my friend's urine sample smelled really weird. And then some time went by, and I had asparagus for dinner. And then I happened to just like be driving in the car, and I had to pee in a bottle, and I sniffed the bottle, and it took me right back, and I realized that was what was wrong with my friend's pee, was he had been eating asparagus. I've since learned that some people metabolize asparagus differently from other people, and for some people, they don't even notice the effect on their urine, but on other people, you eat asparagus, and then when you pee, out comes this weird smell, an asparagus smell. Did you ever have that? Did you? You never had that experience? Then you weren't one. You got the wrong genes. It's a unique experience to have that kind of smell in your urine. Ooh.
I had heard about that, though.
From asparagus.
You ready for the last one?
Yeah, that's enough of this smell thing. Oh, I think we've done that, something like that, didn't we?
Yeah, well, you could say Jack Smith was one of the most memorable.
Or there's a lot of memorable characters. One of the most memorable characters I've ever met. Memorable. If they're memorable, they must be popping to mind right this second. Memorable. One of the most memorable characters I ever met. Richard Wicka pops to mind for some reason. Now there's somebody. That's a sort of short-term memory, because he's on the other side of the camera. That won't do the trick. Richard, do you want some of these things before I... Oh, there's probably more of them.
Yeah.
Let's do another one.
Okay.
Pet stories. I told one about my pet
Spider.
spider.
Buttercup.
Yeah, Buttercup, my pet spider. So I'll do a different one. Receiving a physical injury. Seems like I did receive a physical injury at one point. Hey, you know what's really memorable about working with you, Richard? You can cut this together with that last part. You know, where I'm saying this, a memorable person. One of the things that's really memorable about Richard is when you get, into like doing this, coming over and doing a production session. Now, I remember one of the last times that I did storytelling with Richard was when I shot the videotape that I really want to show you right now. This is a videotape about my bike accident. And see, if you look at me now, oh, I'm blinking without my glasses. But if you look at me now, you can see I look sort of okay, but check this out. Now you can just segue to the other thing. So that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when you came here. You were really torn up.
I was torn all up, yeah.
Yeah. And you explained to me that you kind of lucked out.
Yeah.
Because
I could have been
much
worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I remember
That was a close call with death.
That's right.
Even though I didn't experience it as that at the time, I must say. Whoop! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what I recall about that is, for some reason, you had dyed your hair black. I don't remember
Oh, yeah?
why you did at that time.
Probably I didn't have any reason.
Okay. I thought maybe it was for a video or a film you were working on or something.
No.
And you had taken a pair of sneakers and sprayed them silver.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
And when you got in your bike accident,
I'm much less adventurous now, huh?
you were wearing the silver sneakers
Yeah.
with the black hair.
Oh. God,
And I
that's
think
great.
you had to go to the emergency room after this happened.
Oh, yeah.
And you said to yourself as you were either waiting to be attended to or being attended to, you're thinking, I wonder if they're noticing my hair and my silver sneakers.
I forgot about that. You're right. Yes, that's right. Yes. Well, I was thinking that today when I went to the post office on the way here. I thought, I wonder if they're going to notice my polka dot shirt and my faggy shorts. And then I'm walking around with my slippers on. I wasn't so worried about the post office, but when I went to Guercio's Market, I was thinking, they're really going to think I'm like the wrong kind.
And I remember how compassionate Kathy Stephan was
Yeah.
during that period. She cared an awful lot for you.
She was great.
Did you stay in touch with her after she moved to California?
Not so much. I tried to call her, like a year ago or something like that. And she was very nice and encouraging, but I realized later that she was like sort of doing it in a mocking kind of way, like.
Huh.
Yeah, and so I haven't tried to be in touch with her since then.
So what would the subtext be?
She's with this guy, she's set up differently. She's got, like a whole thing going on.
She doesn't respond to any of my email or anything.
Yeah.
But that's always
You have been
the
in
case.
touch with her?
No, she doesn't respond. She's one of the few people in
But
my life.
you have sent her messages.
Well, let's put it this way. I guess like I met her maybe in like 89 or say. Let's say it was in 1989. So, we became good close friends. We worked on a couple projects together. And then we sort of like drifted apart. And then I would like send her maybe a postcard or send her a letter. And from say maybe 92 till like 98, right?
Yeah.
Then I would see her at Hallwall's events. And she'd
Yeah.
say, I got your letter. I got your postcard.
Yeah.
And I started writing a letter back to you.
Yeah.
But then I looked at it and said, I'm not going to send this. And I threw it away.
I can see her doing that, yeah.
She told me that same thing
Yeah.
at least 5 times.
Yeah? Is that right?
One time it was, I wanted to reply and I started at least 5 letters back to you and thrown them all away.
Really? Wow.
And when you hear something like this from someone who gives you 0 response, you think, if only you would have sent 1.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So that's what I think happens when I send her an email.
Mm-hmm.
I think she says, okay, I'm going to respond to this. She writes a few sentences. I can't send this. Forget it.
Yeah. No, it was one of the greatest things to have the privilege to work with Kathy for as long as I did, for like 2 years or more.
Yeah.
It was just like such a special thing, really. It was like amazing because she, more than anyone I've ever known, really, was just like so focused and dedicated to the quality of her own activity. You know, like it was, she would look at the work that we had done and say, oh gosh, I should have, you know, like done, she wanted to, she was so, it wasn't like critical in a dire way or in a dour way,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't down, it was like always with an element of fun and good, you know, it's just like she really wanted with a passion to think for things to be just like so perfect in a way.
Wow.
And
Which could be why she didn't send the letters, because she looked at
Yeah.
it and said, I could do better than that.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a wonderful spirited person. I really was very fond of her. She's the greatest.
Yeah.
Kathy, yeah.
She has her own website.
God. She does?
She's got a business where she
Yeah.
does video. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I found her email.
Well, you know, when she started doing that, I thought, oh my God, she's got to be successful because she is just so good.
Uh-huh.
So good.
Yeah.
I'll have to go look at her website.
Yeah.
It would be great to be in touch with Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.